So, there's a conflict happening thousands of miles away. But what if I told you it could change the price of the food on your plate, right here? How is that even possible? Well, let's get into it.
So, will this war actually lead to food inflation in India? That's the big question, right? And the answer, well, it's kind of complicated. It's a bit of a yes and a no. To really get it, we need to unravel these hidden threads that connect what's happening over there to our markets right here. I know, it sounds a little far-fetched. A war in another part of the world affecting the price of your veggies. But believe it or not, your local market is way more connected to these global events than you might think. So let's break down exactly how that works.
All right, so let's start with a look at what's happening right here in India. Because before we can talk about the risks for tomorrow, we've got to understand just how solid our situation is today.
Think back to the pandemic in 2020. Amidst all the chaos, our agriculture sector was this one bright spot, right? It was a huge source of relief. Well, fast forward to today with this new crisis, and things feel weirdly similar. For now, anyway.
Okay, so let's kick things off with the good news, because there's actually a lot of it. Right now, India is sitting in a really, really strong position on food security. Seriously, picture it like a fortress, completely stocked up.
And this isn't just a feeling, the numbers back it up. I mean, look at this. By March 1st, our government warehouses were overflowing. We're talking 23.6 million tons of wheat and a whopping 36.5 million tons of rice. Those aren't just big numbers. That's a massive safety cushion, a buffer that can absorb pretty much any immediate shock.
And get this, it's not just about what we already had stored away. That cushion is getting even bigger thanks to an absolutely fantastic rabi harvest. Our farmers have just had a great run with wheat, mustard, maize, potatoes, onions, you name it. The weather was just perfect. So what made it so good? Well, there's some cool science behind it. An expert broke it down for us. The rains came at just the right time, cooled everything down. And that gave the wheat grains more time to get plump. Bigger, heavier grains mean you get more food from the same field. It's a perfect case of good weather turning into good news for all of us. And this good news isn't just about grains. Look at sugar. Even though stocks are expected to be a little tighter down the road, prices are totally stable right now. Supply and demand are in perfect balance. So the key takeaway here, the immediate picture looks great. We're comfortable.
Okay, and this is a big but, here's where the story takes a turn. Our cupboards might be full today, but the supply lines, the very systems that keep them full for tomorrow, they're starting to show signs of stress, and that is where the real risk is hiding.
Which brings us right to our first big vulnerability. Let's talk about fertilizers.
So, just like with our food, our fertilizer stocks right now are actually pretty solid, even better than last year. So far, so good. The problem, once again, is what happens next. The conflict is messing with our imports from the Gulf, and that's where we get most of our fertilizers and the key ingredients to make them. And you can see the impact already. Just look at ammonia, a super important ingredient. The price has just shot through the roof. It went from about $450 a ton all the way up to $750. That is a huge sudden price hike for something that farmers absolutely depend on. And it's not just an ammonia problem. Sulfur prices, they've soared. Imported DAP fertilizer, way up. So this isn't about one single ingredient getting expensive. It's a price shock happening across the entire system of crop nutrients. But, some experts are looking at this and seeing a potential silver lining. They think this shock might just be the push we need to switch to smarter, more efficient fertilizers. So maybe this crisis could actually force a good change, one that helps our supply chain and our soil in the long run.
But the fertilizer story is only part one. The risk actually goes deeper. The conflict's impact is now spreading into another critical part of farming, the stuff that protects our crops.
Okay, to get this next part, we need to talk about something called naphtha. Don't worry, it's simple. Basically, it comes from crude oil, and it's the starting point, the absolute base ingredient for tons of the agrochemicals that farmers use. Pesticides, herbicides, all that stuff.
And this is why that matters. Just look at this. A massive 55% of all the naphtha in the world either comes from or has to pass through West Asia. So when there's trouble in that one region, it sends shockwaves through the entire global industry that makes these chemicals. So let's follow the chain reaction, right? It starts with naphtha. That gets cracked into a base chemical. Then that chemical is used to make another chemical,
which is then used to make something like a common herbicide. You can see how a problem right at the start with the naphtha messes up the entire production line.
And if you think that's the end of it, it's not. It goes even further. Just think about the packaging, the plastic bottles, the little pouches. All of that is made from petrochemicals too, and the cost for those materials already up by 30 to 40%. It's a ripple effect that just keeps spreading, hitting every single part of the product before it even gets to the farmer.
So, after all that, where does this leave us? What happens next?
Okay, so let's put it all together. The bottom line is this. Right now, today, we're in a good spot. Our food fortress is strong because we have plenty of stock and we just had a great harvest. But the longer this conflict goes on and messes with our supply of fertilizers and those key chemicals, the more those higher costs are going to start to trickle down. They'll hit the farmers first, but eventually they're going to hit us when we go to the market.
So yeah, for now, we've dodged a bullet. The immediate crisis is averted. But what this whole thing really is, it's a massive stress test for our entire system. And it leaves us with a really important question. Are we going to see this as a warning shot, an opportunity to build a stronger, more resilient system for the future?